One of these days, I'm going to get around to updating that intro sequence every week with new highlights, and it's going to be awesome. But it has not fit into the time checklist yet. Welcome to Lowco Game Day Live. I'm Justin Jarrett, joined at the moment by Wes Kerr and Sam Williams, but we already got Strychnine waiting in the green room. We got all kinds of friends invited. We'll see who shows up. You never know what's going to happen on the improv show that is Lowco high school football coverage this season, but it's going to be a good time. I can guarantee you that. We got a lot of games to talk about, and we have a quote to start it off, one we've been talking about a lot lately. Jack Ustery, the Hillsdale Christian swimmer, told us the other day that you have the choice between two pains in life, the pain of discipline or the pain of regret. And we got a bunch of high school football players who had 2 days off. They were not under their coach's thumbs, and they got to show up ready to play on Friday. And we'll see who chose the pain of discipline and who will experience the pain of regret on another night of Lowco Friday night and Saturday afternoon, because Colleton playing on Saturday against White Knoll. So going to be a fun time. Sammy, you're going all over the place with this, but are you going to draw up some plays for us on the whiteboard?
Yeah, I got my whiteboard back here.
Yeah, you can draw up some plays for us.
I'm out of the man cave, and
All
I am
right.
trying to find my eraser so I can put my hot take on my whiteboard, but I cannot seem to find. Why am I?
Well, this is a pivot because earlier you had the Hilton Head colored lights in the backdrop. So
Right, yeah.
you're trying to
So
send a
I'm trying to get
message with that.
Right. And now I'm having.
So now we're going to the whiteboard. Okay,
Right.
I got you. Never
We'll
know
come
what
back
you're
to
going to
that
get
later.
around there.
We'll come
But
back.
a couple things to get to real quick before we get going too far into this
There we go.
chaos week. Game day. We're going to get to Jeff real quick because he's got to go paint the lines out of Patrick Henry. So we're going to get him in early. But real quick, Wes, where are we at on Pick'em? Willie White was the winner this week, right?
Yeah, Willie White taking it home with 46 points, winning week one. So congrats to him, and we'll get him some Lowco gear in the coming days, if not already. But week two is already up, just been posted on my Twitter. I'm not sure if you shared it, but I have until 7 o'clock to make your picks for week two. So we're keeping standings, for each week, but also for the entire season. And your two lowest scores are dropped at the end of the year when we calculate the final season-long score.
Yeah, so if you whip on a week like I did last week where I did not enter my picks, you can drop that one and still have a chance, right? I obviously made my picks in the primer, like I published them, but I didn't do my confidence picks, so it's no good. So I don't get any points. Fair is fair. These are the rules. I don't make the rules. Wes does. And speaking of people who have beef with Wes, Jeff Strickland, let's get you in here, buddy. It's the best running joke we have going is the beef between Wes and Patrick Henry, because there's nothing but love there. But it's really fun to pretend like there's beef, and it's awesome. But Jeff, I know you got to go paint the lines. New ADs, he's working hard over there. You got sports information duties, you got line painting, you're on the staff, like you're doing it all at Patrick Henry. But we wanted to get you in here real quick to talk about that game because it's one of our kind of game of the week type, games. With not Lowco on Lowco, but possibly a Schizo 1A state championship preview, because Lee's kind of been that team right along with Thomas Hayward, and y'all are kind of the team we're looking at to maybe, bump out Hayward and be in the mix. So what do you think about this one?
It's going to be, I think it'll be a good game, but it's going to be a tough game because, Lee, sorry, my dog is going nuts.
What's his doggo's name?
This is Blue.
Blue, a boy or a girl?
It's a boy.
All right, Blue. You're my boy, Blue, and you are now a main character on the Lowco network.
He's real clingy today. I think he knows I'm going somewhere. But no, so Lee, they're the defending state champs. They're on a 13-game winning streak. I don't think anybody even came close to beating them last year. I don't even think they were down in a game last year. But David Rankin's their head coach. He's been coaching since 86, 87. I mean, he's been in the game for a long time and he knows football. And actually, he used to coach at WW King up in Batesburg. We used to play them in 8-man and 11-man. And our head coach, Joe Gray Peoples, he was an assistant for Patrick Henry when Rankin was a head coach way back in like 89, 90. So there's a little bit of history there. But
Well, and if anybody knows Skeeza history, it's you. You got it
Yeah.
on lock now, buddy. You got the assistant coaches on staffs from decades ago. It's unbelievable all the knowledge you have. But how do you feel like y'all? I mean, have you been able to look at them a little bit on film and stuff? How do you feel like the matchup goes?
so I mean, last year they just had the studs. I mean, they had this running back. I think Gaskins is his last name. I mean, he was
Yep.
he was a dude.
That rings a bell.
And yeah, I mean,
Yeah, he was a
and they
monster.
had the linemen. I think they lost. I don't know. I think they were returning 2 or 3 starters. It's not a lot. I didn't get a roster. I usually try to save the rosters from every year so I can compare, but I didn't save one last year. But you know, they've got some stout linemen. They've got a really good quarterback. And really, you know, their big play that they like to do, you know, they'll get their wing backs or whatever. Then they'll pull. You want to bark at me? Sorry.
Well, yeah, he doesn't like it when they do that. Blue doesn't like it when they pull that guard. And
Yeah, he does not like that. But you
run
know,
that
they'll
counter.
they'll pull the whole side of their line and just run their running back right behind them. So, I mean, it's just, what do we call it this week in practice? The student body pull. They get
Yeah,
everybody
yeah.
and come on through.
Everybody's going.
They don't really pass the ball a lot.
Yeah.
Well, first
You got to
play of the year-
respect it. You got to respect it.
First play of the year last year, they ran a trick play on us and scored a touchdown, and we were, down just like that. So we're looking out for anything tricky this year. But you know, we did see him throw a few passes on film. You know, they suck you in on the run, and then boom, they run the tight end on a post, and he's gone to off to the races for a touchdown. But the film we saw, they played Thomas Sumter, who's rebuilding. They're not real strong this year,
Yeah.
but I don't know. It's gonna be a good game. Our practice schedule got screwed up a little bit because of that hurricane, but we were able to get some work in yesterday, do a little walkthrough and everything else. But I think we got a good game plan. If we execute and everybody does their job, it's going to be a battle in the trenches. But
Yeah.
you know, I think we got the skill guys, we got the line, you know, and like I texted you earlier today, Justin, you know, our defense has scored more points than our opponents so far this year.
Yeah.
So
That's pretty impressive.
That's a great stat.
Yeah,
That is a
that's
great
that's a,
stat.
that's a
Fun
nice
fact.
number to have in the back pocket when your defense is playing as well as that. But I just shut it out to one of your guys last night on the Players of the Week segment for our lowdown. Michael Tucker Mathis. I mean, that guy is seemingly everywhere because he's making plays on defense and he's been able to run the football as well. Just talk to me about the way he's proven himself out on the field and all that he does, all the little plays that add up to make this team so good.
yeah, I mean, you know, last year he was just part of the team, and then Hugh got hurt and he had to go in at quarterback, and he got us through the season until Hugh got better. And I mean, he's just doing the same thing this year. And you know, he's big on offense and defense, and the good thing is we don't have to just rely on him. I mean, you know, he can do it all. He's the guy, but you know, we've got plenty of other guys on the team who can really step up and get the job done too. Some young guys too. I think we got a freshman or two starting tonight. Okay, we got some injuries and have to fill in, but they got some talent. We're looking forward to what they'll bring us this year and in the future.
Yeah, I mean, I think it can be a really good thing when you can get those young guys in early in the season when it's not as critical. You know, I mean, let's face it, you hope to see these guys again. You hope this isn't the last time you see them this year. So, you know, anybody that you can get on the field and prepare them a little bit better for the rematch is going to be a feather in your cap come November, hopefully at Charleston Southern. So should be a fun one out there. And I know you'll keep us posted, and you got a couple days off work. So you can get your sleep schedule on Lowco time where you can actually stay up late and talk with us. So we look forward to getting a report from that one. But also wanted to touch base with you on one other game that I'd like your insight on, which is Northwood against Thomas Hayward. You know, I think that's an interesting game on the Skeeza side of things because Thomas Hayward, obviously in transition, Northwood very much the same, and Northwood transitioning upward though from winless last year to 2-0 now. Johnny Waters, not Rivers, as you corrected me last time, doing a great job there. So what do you think about that game? And you know, what are you looking for from Thomas Hayward after that, you know, I guess somewhat disappointing, you would say, loss to John Paul II?
I think, you know, it has the potential to be a shootout. You know, Thomas Hayward's got that ground game. They got Tonio Banner. I mean, he's going to be hard to stop. And we played Northwood in a 7-on-7 at Carlton Prep I think it's sometime in July. And they got the skill guys. I mean, and I've seen some film on them, you know, some highlights from Live 5 News and stuff like that. But you know, they throw the ball. So I think it might be a run versus a pass kind of thing. But yeah, I think Northwood is winless, like 2 seasons in a row, new coach, new guys coming in. There's a lot of excitement there. But I wouldn't count Thomas Hayward out. I mean, it's Thomas Hayward. You know, a lot of it, you know, it's you know, you win so much, it's just the name kind of thing. So that could be a mental factor going into it too. But I wouldn't count them out on this one.
I like what Tony McGear is doing. I think it was a great call to bring back, you know, someone who grew up in this program and is so now well experienced in coaching for his time over in Utah to come back and now take over a program that, they lost a lot, but they still return a superstar, no Banner, and then you know, a couple other impact players on defense that you kind of maybe forget about, but you know, there's a couple of guys who've been here for a while that know how to make plays on that side, and then they play both ways, and that's been kind of the culture there, and you know, it's something that's they're hoping that'll stick. So you just, you know, Thomas Hayward, you've known them for a while, you know, just talk about them and that program, and you know how they've been such a, you know, complete powerhouse these last few years, and what do you think it's going to take to I'm not going to say upset because I'm not sure if it's called an upset, but to defeat Northwood Academy for what would be a very important win for that Rebels program.
Yeah, you know, Thomas Hayward and Lee have a lot in common. You know, they you know, mid 2000s it was a little bit of doldrums, you know, kind of breaking even seasons and stuff like that. But then, you know, Shuford came in at Hayward and Rankin came in at Lee, and you know, they just built their program, and now, you know, every year they have so much success, not just making the playoffs, not just winning the region, but playing for the state title every year. And you know, Thomas Hayward's got that. And you know, I like, you know, of course I'm Patrick Henry, you know, Thomas Hayward's been our rival forever. You know, but they were always so much bigger than us. So when we beat Thomas Hayward, it's a big deal. We've only beat them twice in 50 years. Hoping to make it third time this year, but we'll see. I don't know. It's going to be an interesting game. I think it'll maybe say a lot. But you know, it doesn't really count for much except a win-loss. And you know what, Northwood's what, 2A, 3A, 3A,
4A. They're 4A, right? No, they're 3A in football. They're 4A and everything else.
Okay.
I can't keep it straight.
They have the football region and the all sports region.
Time I get it straight, they switch it up. You know, like I can't.
I do like it. It gives a lot more parity in between the schools.
I agree.
I
agree. I mean, it's still funky in some areas because you got like these 1A schools who have like 4A talent in certain sports, and then, you know, like they have 3 tennis players or something like, or three volleyball players. So it's weird because it's hard to compare apples to apples in Skiza. Everybody's just kind of their own unique beast. But it's should be a good time out there at Hayward. They always, it's nice out there. I like going to a game out there. It's a good atmosphere. I think I've really been impressed with Tyree Simmons, what I've seen from him on social media. You know, I think he's going to be a really great motivator and trainer for those kids. And I think they're going to be very competitive. I think y'all are going to have a fight on your hands come that last game of the season. That's going to be one we can't miss, you know, so should be a good time. Go paint those lines, man. We appreciate you, and we'll see you tonight.
Hey, y'all take care. Blue says bye too.
All right, you're my boy Blue. See you later, bud.
See.
All right, let's get Marcus Walsh in here because we have not yet talked about the big game of the night, the WHHI game of the week. That's also the WSAV Blitz game of the week. So Marcus and I will be, you know, on opposite ends of the press box probably, or maybe right next to each other yelling into the microphone. We'll see. You got the play-by-play on HHI. I got the color on SAV, so it should be a good time. I got Andrew Davis by my side. You got Daniel Court by your side. So look, you can watch it live with me, and then you can watch the replay with Marcus and just get 2 completely different perspectives. It's going to be fun. But so yeah, going to be a big party at Beaufort Hilton Head, and we got to get Sammy in here to talk about this too because he's got opinions. Sam's got opinions about Beaufort Hilton Head, and that is the big party tonight. Although Wes is going to a big party too. He got the Country Boys Bowl. He got Whale Branch and Ridgeland in the Country Boys Bowl. We got Beaufort and Hilton Head in the Pre-Tourist Bowl.
Parties everywhere.
You know, yeah, it's going to be a party everywhere on Friday night. I'll tell you, it was a party at BA last week. Man, they throw a pregame.
Oh yeah, that's
they do.
Pregame tailgate was
Spread.
rocking.
Oh, Pat had some serious food going.
Oh, yeah.
Pat wasn't cooking it. I don't know who the man cooking it was, but he was doing a good
Good
job.
music, everything was.
There was some wings. There was oh man, it was legit. So yeah, go if you go into a game on the Isle of Ladies, pop over to BA one time and just be a part of that pregame festivity. But it should be a good time out at the Nest tonight. I don't know where everybody's going to park because last time I was over there, the parking situation was no bueno. So that could be interesting, but should be a good game. I'm going to get there early. And I think we all agree that Buford is, the team to beat in this game, the better team, except maybe Sam, who's got very different ideas. Oh my goodness, we got a visitor in the green room. Coach Peoples is listening in. He missed our Patrick Henry segment though, so we'll have to see if we got time to. I think he's just spying on us, but we might get him in here in a minute. Just to say a word if he gets to a good place. But fellas, let's talk Buford Hilton Head a little bit. I think we know Buford's probably the better team. They're hungry at 0-2, but I've talked with a couple of you guys about how that hunger can quickly start to drift toward desperation if you get behind or you're in a fight and you start thinking about 0-3. And I think that's what Sam's counting on because he's on the Seahawks tonight.
Yeah, I think, and it's not so much about Buford, really. It's more so about Hilton Head for me. I like I said, I love BJ Payne as a coach. He's had some tough losses over the last couple of years. I think they got a good group, and they're playing with confidence. I know personally that Jackson Bybee trains insanely in the offseason to get better. And he's coming off that injury from last year, so now he's healthy. He's playing well. The offensive line is protecting. I think they're in a ripe spot. I really do. I like that team.
And they've got a sensational running back in Troy Timko.
Exactly, and I think he gets underrated a lot. He's a headbanger too. He's hard to bring down.
And the offensive line is probably under the radar at this point too. They're pretty big and like Librand is aware of. Hey, their offensive line is pretty big and physical. And I think as Bybee continues to develop a trust with them and have more confidence that the pocket's going to be okay and stays in the pocket a little more and doesn't get the happy feet, it could be pretty dangerous. If they can get him understanding a little bit better when he needs to go and when he can stay there and let things develop, because they definitely have a legit running back. Now, they do have an injury concern because Tristan Simmons is out. Prognosis is still kind of cloudy as far as long-term. They thought it was going to be a season ender. It may not be, but he's out tonight, and that's key because he's the middle linebacker. He's the guy that strafes so that they can't just run away from Shy. Yeah. He's the first guy that goes in for Timko if he gets a little banged up or needs a breather. And he plays every special teams package. So, that's a big loss. They're going to have to put another freshman out there, a third freshman starting now. So, Librand's going to be looking for those weak spots and trying to attack them. And I think it's for them about getting Samari to make good reads and recognize when down is the move,
And when the lights are on, you don't know who's going to step up or who's going to be a star until they do it. So, you get a little fear of, putting that freshman in there, but who knows what that freshman's going to do when the light comes on.
Guys,
we don't know that name. We don't know that name until we see him perform.
That's right.
And so, everybody that you mentioned earlier, all those names were nobodies until they got on that field and made plays. So, you're going to be looking for weaknesses that you may find a strength that you didn't know you had. Sometimes
iron sharpens iron.
Get in there, Marcus. Great job. Both these coaches have done fantastic jobs really finding so many diamonds in the rough. Obviously, Buford, but you can say the same for BJ Payne, what he's doing with building some talent, not just Shike Thompson, but a couple of key role players on the defense as well, like Connor Wendell, just developing solid, fundamentally strong football players. So, Marcus, I want to get you in here and, just go through this matchup. And you think Hilton has any chance of maybe hanging around in the second half?
I really do. I mean, when you take a look at what Coach Payne told me and all of us at Media Day, and, certainly going through their first couple of games, offensively, they've done really well. They've got Bybee. They've got guys that they can use one-on-one with the outside because their offensive line has done such a great job of, battling against defensive lines. Tim Cook can just run like the wind. He is a dog. And defensively, you've got Thompson, you've got Wendell, who can do some really good things up front. And so I think there are some definite keys for them. They have a chance to really battle and play well. And if they can get out to an early start, I think they can put a lot of pressure on Buford, who has struggled particularly in the second half of games. In hearing from Coach Payne, he was talking about the fact that they've changed some things up. They run a 4-2-5 base on defense, but they can change some things up, and they can really show a lot of multiple looks. So I look for them to do that and really try to keep Buford on their toes a little bit and thinking about that. But, I mean, this is a Bryce Lybrand coach team. This team is ready to work, ready to play, ready to go. He doesn't have any issues with their work ethic, their mentality, that type of thing. Honestly, they just need to finish. I was on Talk of the Town earlier this week, and Robin Zimmerman asked me, who do you think's going to win? And I honestly said, I don't know. I mean, this is just too close to call. Justin, I have a question for you because I tried to look it up and I couldn't find it. When was the last time that Hilton Head won a game in this series? They've only won one.
Oh, that can't be true, can it?
According to what I was seeing,
Only one.
They are 50,
that doesn't sound right, but I'm looking it up as we speak. That's a great question. It's been a minute.
Yeah, definitely overdue.
Max Preps. Max Preps, if you're listening, please stop with the autoplay video. Please, we are begging you. You have such a great service, and you're ruining it with the autoplay video.
I'll say this too. There's a lot on the line for this game, and kind of going back to my thoughts on the JP2THA game that I had 2 weeks ago. If there was a time for Hilton Head to get a win in this series, it's now.
Yep.
2015.
Well, it's been a minute.
Now, you are correct that there's only one in the Max Preps era, but I don't think that covers the whole of history. It's like only the 2000s. These guys have been playing a lot longer than that.
That was a great 2015 Hilton team, by the way. That was probably one of the better teams I've had the last decade.
That was a Puna team, right? That was in my blind spot.
Puna was gone by then, but they had
Morrow.
Hamilton was the last name. They had a couple of.
Tyler Hamilton.
Tyler Hamilton,
Bryce Singleton. Yeah, that was in my blind spot when I was at USCB, but I knew about that team a little bit, which was a testament to how good they were, because there was not a lot of coverage by that point. It was starting to dwindle. But I mean, McCombs did a great job with it, but it was just resources were thin at that point. But it's been a minute, and I think Hilton Head's got a shot. And I think, like you guys said, the start is the key. If they can get off to a good start and avoid just allowing Buford to assert their will in the trenches and grind out first downs and long scoring drives, and then force 3 and outs and get them in a hole, then I think they've got a real shot. But I think the first quarter is really key. They've got to kind of hope Buford has that slow start disease they had at the end of last year a little bit, where they come out flat, which this chaos week, it's always possible. You didn't have school or practice the last 2 days. It's real easy to get into some lazy habits and come out sluggish. So who did a better job of managing herding their cats and making sure everybody was choosing discipline, so that they don't have to feel the
and as a coach, how do you think you go through that? Because obviously Bryce Lybrand does a great job of adjusting. BJ Payne's a fantastic leader, but as a coach, when you have this abnormality with the schedule and you don't get to practice, how do you relay that to your players and put them in the right mindset to say, we're ready to go on Friday, and you guys better be, prepared and in the right mindset to go out there.
I think the hay's already in the barn on that. I think that had to have been instilled by now. That look, whatever happens, we're ready to play football on Friday. We're gonna take care of our business and be ready to go. And if you haven't instilled that, then you're probably in trouble tonight. It's probably gonna go sideways.
Now, I would also add that this is a prime time for the actual players to step up. Because
doubt.
when you have those days off, that's where you'll find your leaders.
Yep.
If you're the quarterback on that team, you need to be calling your guys, hey, this is what we're doing. You know what I mean? And get between the players, because the coach can only do so much. They're on the sidelines. They don't get to step out there and put a helmet on and play.
That's right.
So now is the time, like I said,
can lead a horse to water.
You cannot make a drink.
Yeah.
So that's when your leaders need to step up and be making those phone calls when you have those days off, to get everybody rallied around, doing your workouts in the backyard or whatever it is you need to do. That becomes a player-led thing. And I think that may be something we see tonight. Who has the better leadership?
And I think Jackson Bybee has shown a great amount of that. I like the way that, he's been able to make some plays out of tough circumstances a couple times. I look back to last year in the Bridge Bowl and this year against Battery Creek. But he's a playmaker, but he's also a leader. He's a great communicator. That's the guy you want to be carrying your team into a big game like that, especially in these, extraordinary circumstances where you don't get much practice. But you look at leaders on both ends, on the offensive side and the defensive side. Normally, you're looking at an upperclassman who kind of has a good grip on what the looks are. You communicate to your other defenders about where you're expecting, where do you want to be at certain spots. So this week more than ever, you're relying on the leadership of your guys, and you want to every week, but especially so, it's gonna, as you said, Justin, it's gonna be really apparent, which players took the week off and maybe laid low, or which guys were getting ready for this opportunity. So it's going to be a lot of fun because this opens up so many new wrinkles to what could happen on the field, and I'm pumped for it.
Wes, with your experience certainly at Hilton Head being a grad, I've got a question that you might be able to answer. How do you think the field's going to hold up and whatnot from all the rain that we saw this week with the storm? And how do you think that'll affect players on both teams? But
it's turf, Bob.
No, it wasn't.
It's turf.
Here, but
and
it's
that's
turf
true.
now. So, we definitely renovated it, so it's in good shape.
Field's good. Field is primo,
and we are ready to go. So.
Now I will
Some little rubber pellets might be a little slippery.
No, I remember when May River played, when Jaden was playing, and they had just put the turf in, and it had rained that day.
Yeah.
And it was a slick track. It was super slick. Hopefully now it's been broken in more. It won't be the same. And they've had
all plastic and rubber.
Right. Yeah, it can be pretty
slippery. Yeah, it gets slippery. Those little rubber pellets too, they take some time to settle. So like Hilton Heads has been there a while. So like when you get on a real new one, like the one at May River this year, those rubber pellets are still kind of at the surface level, and they get super slippery. Sammy's getting calls. They get super slippery. So yeah, it could be interesting
with
the run
the fact that it's not so new. That certainly helps them.
Yeah, I think it'll be okay. It should be fine as long as we don't get rain, shortly before where it's still wet. It should be good. It might be a little toasty, a little humid down there, but it's going to be cooler. It's only a high of 84 tonight, so it should be pretty good at kickoff.
It's going to feel good.
Sun going down earlier, so it's going to be a nice night. I'm looking forward to it. But we got to talk about some other games, and we got to give some MVP sponsor love. So let's get to that real quick. Mickelson Law Firm, the OGs, first sponsor ever, still with us 6.5 years later, and they are the official real estate closing attorney of Lowco Sports. But they can take care of any legal needs that you have. Just like they take care of that growing clan, the Mickle Squad, always growing. Congrats on another one, and always great to see you guys out and around town. They are the official real estate closing attorneys of Lowco Sports, so you can use them after you find your place in the Lowco with my wife, Megan Jarrett, the official realtor of Lowco Sports from the Pierce Group. She's going to help you find your starter home or your forever home, whatever you're looking for to find your place here in the Lowco. And, it's going to support everything we do here at Lowco Sports. And to make sure that house is just right, she's going to call on Jan Lucas from Homegrown Home Inspections, the official home inspectors of Lowco Sports, to make sure that everything is tip-top shape about that house, and anything that is a glaring problem, you're going to be able to take care of before you sign that contract and close that deal, because it's such a big asset. You want to take care of that when you're buying real estate here in the Lowco. And finally, Hospice Care of the Low Country. their caring staff, providing not only hospice care, but also palliative care now. So not just for end of life treatment, but also for chronic illness or chronic needs that require in-home care. They can take care of that for you. And they raise so much money with their great events that you don't have to come out of pocket, not for profit. They're helping people get the services they need, regardless of their ability to pay, because it's not about dying in hospice care. It's about living. And they got a big event coming up, Harmonious. I'm telling you, you got to check this out. My man James Disman is hyping it, and when he hypes a party, it's going to be a party. And I know you think it's funny, Sam, when we talk about hospice parties, but hospice throws the best parties. Don't get the wrong idea about hospice parties now.
I gotta check one out. Check one out.
Jimmy Diamond throws a party. The yacht hop is, unbelievable.
Ain't no party like a hospice party.
There ain't no party like a hospice party, because a hospice party don't quit.
There you go. Perfect.
That's right. But we got some other games to talk about, fellas, including the one you're going to, Wes. And I have a keen interest in the Country Boys Bowl. That's what I'm calling it, Sam. What do you think? Country Boys Bowl?
I like
That's pretty good. We didn't Country Boys, Country Walk, Country Talk. But no, Whale Branch, we got a good taste of them last week because we had Coach Hatcher, and KJ Chisholm on the show. And then last night we had a little bit of fun because we got our guys Daryl Cummings and Mo Brown on from Whale Branch and Ridgeland, respectively, which I'm working on getting us a clip of for just a minute. But Wes, tell me about what you're looking for in this game. Ridgeland, obviously 2-0 and playing with a lot of confidence. They bring the wood on defense. They got 3 guys who can hurt you on the ground with Mo Brown, as well as Xavier Plowdness and Winston Smith. You got Jaquise Johnson on the outside. They got a lot of weapons. And but so does Whale Branch, and Daryl was real confident last night.
Yeah, I like the way this Ridgeland team is playing. I mean, really impressive to have done what they've already done. To come into Battery Creek in a Lowco game and pull it out in overtime and what was an absolute battle that you got to see in person last week. I mean, that's a tremendous testament to Coach Rodney Barr, the keep chopping mentality that started when he came over here a couple years back, and now they're 2-0, which is great to see. And I think they have a fighting chance in this game against Whale Branch. I do like the Warriors to come out on top here, but I'm not discrediting the group of talented stars that Ridgeland has as weapons to move the ball. Of course, Maurice Brown is a big part of that, but Xavier Plowdness is doing it on either end. And you've got some others who have been able to really take charge when they get in the rock and just a lot of speed on the outside and just a lot of quickness, agility that they've been able to showcase out there in the field. And it's been really fun to watch this quick rise of this Ridgeland team. But this Whale Branch group has it all. And when they're healthy like this and when they're playing like they did against North Charleston, I like their chances in a battle here, which I think will be competitive. But I like KJ Chisholm a lot. He's been doing well at quarterback. And then you got a bunch of other guys who have done a fantastic job and making some big contributions to lines, doing a good job blocking, especially in that North Charleston game. Ridgeland's got some dudes, so it might be a little tougher, but I do like Whale Branch up front. And then you got Daryl Cummings, who has been an excellent spark plug over there. Jerry Hatcher hyped him up, and he's definitely responded and lived up to that hype. But this is going to be a fun game. So much confidence, energy with both these schools right now. Whale Branch with a lot more bigger plans than they can win. Ridgeland's got to be happy going 2-0 to start the season. So I think it's going to be a fun atmosphere over there in Ridgeland. The fans are going to be fired up, cheerleaders are going to be fired up, and we could see some. We could see some excitement, some more excitement on the sidelines. So,
hey, as good as the food was at BA, I bet the food's better at Ridgeland.
Ooh, I'm gonna have to come hungry.
You're gonna have to check it out. I bet it's gonna be good. Because I'm telling you that when the Jags are sorry, they'll tell you the Jags are sorry. But when the Jags are good, they come watch them.
I'm interested in seeing the Ridgeland defensive matchup against Whale Branch's offense because you got a bunch of guys that have been doing a great job flying to the ball carrier, stopping the run. And Whale Branch, you have KJ Chisholm, you have Daryl Cummings, you have some bruising running backs, and then you have some quickness and power throughout the lineup.
Great segue. Yeah. Great segue because I got some film room on Whale Branch. So let's peep it here. Let's see what we got. It's a little grainy, but you can get the job done. Here's KJ on the punt return now. I will remind you, Ridgeland gave up 2 punt returns for touchdowns to Derek Smalls last week, who was the SCFCA Special Teams Player of the Week for Class 3A. So then we got KJ. He only throws 1 pass the whole game, and here it is. He's doing a little Lamar Jackson stuff like he told us he was going to do.
Nice.
And then he's going to do some more Lamar Jackson stuff. Well, he's going to do this on a punt first. He bobbles it, but it don't matter. Now look at this block. Look at this block. I'm going to run it back here. It's coming back so you can see this block. Let me get rid of my banner so you can see this better. Because watch this dude. Watch my man. This is where he first locks onto this block. Now just watch him. Watch him. Look at him. Look at him. Watch where this thing ends. We still got it. He's still on it. Look at
That
this.
is awesome work. That is awesome.
He's still on it. The man is in the end zone, and he is still on his block, and that's where they finish. In a heap on the end zone. And then my man gets up and pushes him like he did something. Come on.
Too late.
Come
now.
on.
Too late.
Come
now.
on, man. Come on, man. Now, here we go. Look, you got Darrell Lee blocking there. He takes one guy out, and you got Bradford on the wing. He misses his guy, so he keeps going. But KJ don't need no blockers. KJ fine. KJ fine. And then what we got here?
Pancake. Did you see it?
No, I missed that one. Let me run it back right quick. I missed a pancake. It was late last night. I was tired. I got a bunch of them, but I missed that one.
No, that's how you can tell the buy-in. Right here.
Yeah. Oh,
yeah.
20 yards downfield on the ground.
That's what you like to see.
Back, son. Now watch this. This is like a whole stack of pancakes.
Oh, wow.
Saturday special.
Oh, I love it.
That is some hard work
Stack
on
of
the
pancakes sponsored by IHOP. Get in here, IHOP.
Oh,
Let's
no.
go.
What are you going to do?
Look at this. Darrell. So Ridgeland going to have to tackle better than North Charleston did, which is maybe not a high bar to clear, but still, look at Darrell. Look at Darrell. Look at this cutback. He sees
Where
it.
those
Look at
two guys?
this.
He's an open lane.
Zoop.
There he goes.
He ain't going down. It's going to take more than 2, y'all. It's going to take more than 2, y'all.
You hate to see it.
So as you can see, we got a little something going with that Whale Branch.
I like the buy-in. The downfield blocking is amazing for those guys. You can tell a lot
about that.
You can tell a lot about a team with that.
Well, you can tell a lot about a team too by how much they respect their opponents. So let's peek in on what we did last night with Mo Brown and Darrell Cummings as we continue to preview this big Ridgeland Whale Branch game. Now you guys are off to great starts. Darrell, you guys won big 46-6 at North Charleston the other night, and Mo, you guys are 2-0 after a little dogfight, overtime battle against Battery Creek. That you were screaming in pain by the end of that thing, man. They had to finish it off without you because that cramp was getting you. But no, we're gonna do a little respect your opponent thing here, and I want each of you to tell me, what you see this week from the other team that you respect, that you're looking out for. And then after you each do that, we'll give you a chance to tell us why you're going to be able to overcome it and get this dub. So, Darrell, tell me, you told me earlier you wasn't worried about nothing with the Jags, but come on, be honest. Something got you a little worried, right?
They got a pretty nice backfield, nice quarterback, pretty good running backs. Number 77, pretty big. So, we for sure have to do some work on defense. So it's a respectable team. I was just talking, but I respect them, of course. My cousin goes to that school, so it's gonna be a personal game for me. So,
who's that?
His name's Jordan. He's a freshman, so hopefully he gets it when I'm in, so I can, embarrass him in front of the family. But yeah.
All right, Mo. What are you seeing from the Whale Branch guys? What are you concerned about over there?
To be honest, we was really looking at number 5, 6, and 44 when we was watching the film, and we did a couple little runs.
Y'all see Darrell's eyes go up when he didn't say 9? Yeah, we clarified that.
Yeah, he's taking
targeting like 44 especially to make sure we kind of like keep him inside, and really we just ready to play.
He's giving away too much, ain't he, Coach?
So really can do.
All right,
now Darrell's wondering why you didn't say 9. Darrell's wondering why you didn't say 9.
I mean, we was watching the film. Like that's what they was saying. They was like, especially the backfield, like you feel me. Oh, but I might have overlooked it though. I'm not sure. Wait, wait.
I think
Hey,
you're probably a little concerned
you the
about
same
9.
dude. You the
You said
same
what?
dude.
I think
Okay,
you're a little
yeah.
concerned
No,
about
it was
9.
him. It was him. Yeah, it was him. I
I
said
think
the
you might
wrong
be a
number.
little worried about him.
Yeah, it was. It wasn't.
It wasn't 6. It was 9. There we go.
Yeah,
There
it was
we go.
9.
All right, we all straight now.
All right.
You don't have to be disrespected no more, Daryl. You're all good.
All right,
You're all
guys.
good. You're
I
good.
want you all to, both go through your own team,
Pops chiming
talk
in.
about why you think you're going to get the dub on Friday night, and then give a shout out to some of your teammates. What's going to put you guys over the top on Friday night, a big Lowco on Lowco showdown? Either you can get started.
I just want to give a whole shout out to my whole offensive line. That's like a whole ton right there. I love my offensive line, man. I feel like we got the best offensive line in Lowco and in our our little region. I feel safe behind them. Our defense solid. So I'm not. The whole team is just good. Like Coach Hatcher, he always makes sure we prepared. We never under prepared for a game. So I feel like we will always come in a game prepared for anything. And Keith at a quarterback, he's dynamic. Bradford right next beside me, he's dynamic. So it's a team sport, and the whole team is just amazing. So I'm glad to be on a part of Wall Branch, and yeah.
Jags are playing the team right now, Mo. 2-0, baby. Tell us why you're going to come out on top this week.
So I mean, it really started off with God for real. Like we always say, like God did before we start any type of game, and you feel me? We put the man above first, but really, our skill guys is really what's gonna bring it to the top. Like me personally, I wouldn't be who I am without a couple of guys like Quee and X and JB M. You feel me? Jason.
Hey, we gotta tell the people who don't know who you're talking about here who these people are. So Quee, you got Jaquise Johnson. You got X, you got Xavier Plies, you got who else you shouting out there? Winston Smith. What are you calling him? Wesley Smith. Smith. Is it Wesley Jones laid that big old block?
Wesley Jones.
We got
a sleeper guy too, man. We got a short dude named Cameron Rice.
Cameron Rice,
he had a pick. But yeah, man, I put like them boys first, man. You feel me? I'm just following them boys' footsteps for real.
Right on, man. Yeah, we got that pick 6 on video last week. That's pretty nice, but you definitely owe an assist to Wesley. Daryl's like, oh, hold up, out hard. He's number 1.
Do what? Yeah. He's number 1.
Yeah, he's number 1.
Okay. Yeah, but like he said, him.
So we had a mutual realization, but
we're nothing without God, for sure. I respect that.
So,
I really respect it.
All right, if you want to hear more, check out last night's lowdown. But those guys were awesome. That was really fun. We hit them up like last minute, and we're like, "Hey, you want to do something fun with us?" And they were down. And they handled themselves exceptionally well. I thought, Mo maybe gave a little much away on the game plan early, but he settled in. He was doing fine.
You got to stop it.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's the thing with Whale Branch. Like, just Jarrett Hatcher will tell you. Well, you play Whale Branch, you got to stop the counter. If you don't stop the counter, it's going to be a long night. So, I mean, he ain't sharing no secrets. Like, we all know that he's going to run that counter. And if you don't respect it, you're going to be in trouble. Just like he told us at Media Day, in those exact words. And mostly that exact intonation, I think. But let's shout out some more sponsors, and then we'll get into some more games on the slate because we got a few minutes left, 15 minutes left. Getting to our varsity sponsors, we got DDS Web Design. My friends Dave and Denise Sinkovich moved down here from Pittsburgh. So if yens are Pittsburghers, in Hilton Head, which there are many, you probably already know them because you're hanging at Giuseppe's and all that. But in case you don't and you need a website, call on DDS Web Design. You can find them at ddshhi.com. They love to work with small businesses and organizations like nonprofits to help them do more with their website and get found online. And then we've got the Parker Law Group out in Hampton, Colleton, and Jasper counties, serving folks out there for ages. I'm sure you've done business with them a time or two, Sam. You out there in the law world. But they're now on board as a varsity sponsor, helping us continue to expand our coverage into those counties and shine a light on more deserving student athletes and teams doing great things here in the Lowco. So those are our varsity sponsors at the moment. You can join the roster by sending me an email at lowcosports@gmail.com. That's LOWCO sports@gmail.com. And fellas, let's get into the rest of the slate here. Which games you want to talk about the most? We got Emerald, Hampton County. You mentioned that one, Sam. You think that one's interesting?
Yeah, I think that'll be fun. Emerald's one of those schools from my neck of the woods. I'm a Strom Thurmond Rebel, and Emerald's a newer school.
You from up yonder by Aiken?
Yes, sir. You got it. But Emerald's is a conundrum for me. Some years they're really good, and then they'll fall off the cliff real quick. So I'm interested to see what they are this year. I think Hampton County is tough. That's a game I would love to see Strom Thurmond.
I think that's gonna be a great game.
Yeah.
The Emerald team, I think they could present a problem. I mean that's a solid group. I mean Hampton's gonna have to play well in order to come up on top of that game. But I like the way, especially that defense is playing with Mandrill Sanders, Ian Anderson, Kayvon Chisholm. I mean they are loaded up front, and against majority of the high school teams who go up against, it's gonna take a lot to pick up yards on them. So I like the way Hampton's playing D. I think this is going to be a tougher challenge than what we've seen. But I think this Emerald team, having a week off, being refreshed, I think it's going to, present a solid opportunity to, present a test to Hampton, but also have a chance for the Hurricanes to get better against a strong opponent. So I'm excited for this one, and it's also their first home game, so a lot of excitement.
Yeah, and I think kind of like we talked about with Buford Hilton Head, it's anytime you got your home opener, and anytime there's a lot of emotion, right? So home opener, homecoming, rivalry game, all those things. There's the margin for error is a little more narrow because everybody's holding their breath, and if it doesn't go well at the start, they don't breathe, and it starts to become a panic situation. So I think they have to protect against that, but I think that Hannah is got to be one of the most organized coaches I've ever been around. I mean, he has got his stuff on lock, and I think he will have them focused and ready to go. But it's a yeoman's effort, and you need a whole coaching staff to do it, and he's got a really good one. So I expect them to be okay. And maybe even win big. I think they're the better team there, and I think they'll assert it. They rolled pretty good last week. I know it's Allendale, but I had an umpire at baseball who's from Estill tell me, yeah, them Hurricanes ain't nothing. He run the jet sweep too much, and I'm like, have you seen him yet this year? Nope, but I saw the spring game, and I said, well, I saw him at Colleton, and I saw what they did at Allendale last week. I think they're pretty good. So.
And I want to see that crowd. I want to see that atmosphere.
Oh, it is the best atmosphere.
You're combining two of my favorite fan bases.
Yeah,
I mean, September 15th.
How much they loved you when you went over there for that basketball run, and football.
Dude,
as well.
They traveled to Colleton. Traveled to Colleton.
Yeah, I want to see it at home.
Yeah, we're going September 15th. Hilton Head, Hampton. You're coming with, right?
That'll be
fun. We're taking a camera crew. Hannah and BJ are on board. We're gonna document the whole thing and see what we can make out of it. It's gonna be fun. But you got to ride along. You can be my PA that night. It's
right. I'm with it.
I'm recruiting my staff. Gonna be a great time. But that one should be fun. White Knoll, Colleton County on Saturday. We can talk about that a little bit more tonight. But I think Colleton County is much, much, much better and is gonna be pretty good. But White Knoll's a really good team.
Yeah, I don't like that.
I don't think this is the week for them. I think they're going to be competitive in the region, but I think this is a tough matchup.
Yeah.
You got a couple teams need a dub. Going on the road. You got Creek at Calhoun Calhoun County, which is 2-0 and a dangerous 1A team. I think that they're a top 10 1A team. That's a game that Creek you want Creek to be able to win. As a program, they need to get to a point where that's a game they win, right? but I don't know if they're there yet. And you know, I think if Susie has time and the patience to do it his way and build it his way there over 3 or 4 or 5 years, I think they are going to be a powerhouse. But a lot of people have come through who I said the same thing about, and they did not have the bandwidth and the energy and the drive. You know, it just wasn't. It was too much. It wasn't what they needed, and you got to respect that. You know, I mean, you can't mess with Happy, and if it's too much of a grind, you got to go find something that's a better fit.
Right.
But I do believe that he's a really good football mind, and he's a really good motivator. That if he can stay there, they've got a really special thing going as far as the energy
And the Hilda
and
game
the
is a lot
camaraderie,
closer.
but the X's and O's have a ways to go. You know,
And the Hilda game is a lot closer than I thought the score said. I thought they played well. And they did a great job of stopping Red Typically. Huge game against Claxton. They held them in check in that first half. So I like the way they defended the run. And it got an emerging guy, Jace Olson, who he's still kind of learning the ropes over there as a starter, but he made some nice throws, some good decisions. But there were some points where it showed that he still has a ways to go. So I think it's a work in progress. But you wanna be able to pick up one of these wins just for morale purposes. It's important to get one early, and we've said that for
the sooner you get one, the better you are. I mean, it really, before it starts to go down the drain, you got to get that morale back up. And I have a thought on Olsen, just kind of an analogy. For me, he's kind of like the guy that you drafted in like the 5th round and you thought you were going to get 3 years to develop him. And then your star quarterback, broke his leg and he's got to start now. He's going to be good. I believe he's going to be good because what I've seen in him is the mindset and the confidence and that, it factor the quarterback needs, that it does not matter how many interceptions he throws or how many times he gets sacked. That dude's going to get back up and go run the next play and think that he's going to beat you every time. And he's going to get beat up this year, but he's going to be better for it. And I think he's going to be a great leader for them going forward.
And
I'm
sorry. Just going to say this is going to be a huge week for them because I believe next week they have May River, which will not be an easy test. And then Whale Branch, not too far down the line.
No, that's a rivalry. That's a true rivalry game.
Yeah.
That's the kind of rivalry game where you don't say the other school's name. You say a team from not too far away beat us last year. That's that kind of thing. So that's like brothers and brothers, literally. Donye Brown and what's the other? Gosh dang it. I'm blanking. There's 2 Browns. One of them is a Whale Branch guy. One of them is a Battery Creek guy. They're brothers. They go head to head. Mama's got the half and half jersey. Like it's awesome. It's an awesome environment for that game. And that will be a battle. Yeah. And it doesn't matter how good anybody is. It's going to be a battle. So they got tough tests ahead. They need to get one early if they can. Sam, you were going to say something, but we should probably segue to May River since we're talking about them, but you go ahead.
Yeah, before we get there though, I think it's very interesting going into the season. I think it's a lot of guys right on the cusp of greatness. And I think especially this week and in the next couple of weeks coming up, there are going to be plenty of opportunities for these guys to make a name for themselves. And I'm just interested to see who's going to take it by the reins. Control of their team and lead that team to something special.
And there's some guys at Creek that I think can do that. I think Juju Gordon is that guy.
Mm-hmm.
We've DM'd a little bit on Instagram because he was like sharing some clips with me and stuff. And he's got his head right. He understands I'm a senior and this might not be the year for us. But if it's ever going to be the year for us, I got to treat it like
he's got to be the one to do it. He's got
he's got to lead them. And he knows he's going to leave behind a lot of talent that he's not going to get to be a part of whatever happens next year, but Derek Smalls is, and, Nick Underwood is, and that dude he quietly put up 150 some yards rushing last week. And the freshman got in the end zone, they got some guys coming. They just need a little more seasoning, a little more reps, a little more time with a consistent coaching staff that can get them up to speed on everything, but they're coming
a little bit. When we were talking about Buford, Hilton Head, there's something else in the back of my mind. I'm picking Hilton Head, but I know it's a matter of time before Samari steps up. It happened tonight. And that is
Yeah.
what gives me the most concern because there's only a matter of time before it clicks. And he puts
Well, the thing with him is he's the ultimate risk reward guy.
Yeah.
He's going to at times act on pure instinct and not even think about it. And it's either going to be spectacular or spectacularly disastrous.
No, he's going to go for that. That's what I'm saying. I think he's going to find it's going to slow down for him.
Yeah, I agree. That's what I keep saying. The game slows down for Buford tonight.
And when it happens,
it's been really fast the last 2 weeks.
Yeah. When it happens, it's going to be trouble for the whole.
Yeah, I mean, you talk about a young team that's developing, putting some pressure on both Gameday and then Fort Dorchester. That's a top 5 team in Class 5A. That is not a middle of the road team. That is a quality football team. So
right.
They might be getting first place votes. Like, I mean, they're right up there. That's a legitimate power. I think everybody was a little unsure because there were a lot of rumors about all these guys who transferred. But we got to remember that the guys who transferred to Pinewood Prep and Northwood and make an impact are usually not impact players at Fort Dorchester. That's why they're going there, because they're good players. They just can't get on the field. Right. So they go somewhere else where they can. And they're stars, because they were good players. They played in a really good football program and were in the third string, they were learning every day. So 4D is still really good at football. Let's not be mistaken.
They're going to be there every year. Yeah, they're going to be there every year.
I'll tell you who I don't know about is Waccamaw.
They had a tumultuous offseason with a coach who was fired. Then he came back. Then he retired.
Then he was back. And then he was, that was a whole mess. I think that was the big part of it, was just the unknown. What is going on over there? But they're fine. They're a good football team. May River plays at Waccamaw. That's a long trip, and I don't know nothing about Waccamaw.
Where is Waccamaw? Where's Waccamaw?
All up. It's up by Pawleys Island, up that way. Myrtle Beach way. But all I know about it is that Ron Costello, the legend of Hilton Head High School, used to call them whack-a-mole all the time. And the Seahawks will be traveling to Whack-a-Mole on Saturday.
What's their record? Are they 1-0? I think they're 1-0.
I believe so. I believe that's accurate.
Who they play?
Cheat sheet.
I know you did. I didn't read it. I got the better.
Yeah, you had it open a minute ago. Yeah, they're 1-1. 1-1.
Who they beat?
Oh yeah, they beat Carver's Bay last week. We discussed this in the newsroom pre-show.
We did.
They beat Carver's Bay, which I have determined Carver's Bay is down because I saw one result that made me go, "Whoa, Carver's Bay got beat that bad by that team?" And I don't even remember who it was, but I just put it in the memory bank that Carver's Bay is a little down this year. Okay. So what's that mean? May River's got a little juice though. I mean, you got a dope highlight of Asa Haskins last week, catching one.
They got to get him the ball. It seems like they went away from him. I'm not sure how many targets he got after that first play. And
this was the first play of the game?
No, not first play. The first scoring play. I'm sorry. I think it was like.
I was going to say, dang.
No,
that was a dope.
It was very early. It was definitely early in the game. And I'm not.
You also got some Nodelman Wood.
Oh, he's gonna smack a couple people tonight. You can bet on that.
You can bet on that.
Yeah, you can bet on that.
Yeah, I'm gonna play back one of them just for funsies. My favorite stuff is just watching highlights.
You gotta get a 2x4 for the end of the season.
Yeah, we gotta hand out 2x4s.
Yeah, we gotta yeah.
Crunch.
He's leading in the leader house right now in the clubhouse. He's at number 1.
The wood leader.
Man, the wood
leader. He's got 2 feet of 2x4s.
Yep. He's working on it.
But so maybe Waccamaw. Not really sure what to make of that. We'll see what info.
I think it's a game I think it's a game you'd like to win for May River. Sure. So you kind of wish they could have showed a little bit more last week. But I'm still.
Yeah, but West Ashley is pretty good.
Yeah. I'm sold on what Bonneville's doing. I think Bonneville's doing the right thing. I think he's putting his program on the right track. Like where that team's going. I think they're gonna push. They're gonna push Waccamaw and compete. And you'd like to see him win, but if you see a competitive, strong game, especially with some good fight on the defensive side and ability to block. Use that offensive line to create some opportunities there. If you play some good fundamental football, you're going to have a chance in this one and just avoid, costly turnovers and momentum shifts like that, I think this team's gonna, be focused after a tough first week and be ready to go. So there's always it's chaos week, and you never know. But that's why these kids, they got a lot more pressures put on them. Just you gotta be focused after all the distractions of all that that was brought to you. But
Bonneville's a Citadel guy, so you'd think like discipline would kind of be in his realm. So hopefully he's got them ready to go Friday night. Big road trip. Road trip kind of helps in chaos week, I think, because at least you get them a couple hours earlier.
Right.
I want to see chaos. I want to see May River throw the ball to run the ball.
Yeah,
because the best offensive weapons you have.
Take what they're giving you.
Quarterback and your receiver. That has not been the case in years at May River. Now, I want to see if they're able to adjust and use the weapons they have to do what they want to do. But use your best weapons first and then come back to what you'd like to do.
Yeah.
But get a little uncomfortable, try something different, and let your athletes shine. It's high school football, man. The athletes.
Yeah, the jig is up. Like, they know what you want to do. So you're going to have to pick another way to beat them because they're going to take that away.
Creative. Creative.
Yeah, you got to. I mean, we see, Libron's so good at it. So good at it. He'll throw it 34 times one week and once the next, or 0 in the state championship game. Whatever you got to do to win the game, it's a different chess match every week. That's the thing. And sometimes you got different pieces. Sometimes you're down your queen, like, what are you going to do? And you got to figure it out. You got to find a way. So 2 other games real quick. We're over time, but we do have 2 other games to get to real quick. Carleton Prep at Branchville. We got a little Skiza High School League 1A crossover, which is always fun just to compare apples to oranges. And JP2 at St. Andrews, which the last report I got on CT4 was highly doubtful for this week, but hopefully next week. So that all hinges on that. If Tilton plays, they got a great shot. If Tilton doesn't play, they don't have much of a shot. I mean, he's that kind of player. It's no disrespect to the other guys. He's just that kind of player. There's nobody else on the depth chart behind him.
Yeah, that's going to be a grind of the game. If Christian's out, it's going to be very, very interesting. But it can get to. You can I'm trying to find the word, but I'm not trying to say that JP2. I mean, they've always got some guys. You want to have some guys you can turn to, and maybe JP2 has someone who's going to step up. Christian, and that's Tilton doesn't go. And in terms of chaos week, that's what you want. You want that new star to show up, but Christian Tilton, you can't really replace him because he's just otherworldly with what he's been able to do on the field. And it's just a completely different game plan if you don't have him. So it just throws you for a loop. But see what JP2 can do to respond. And Milligan's a great coach, and you got to make adjustments. You got to do things on the fly. So we'll see what happens there. Carleton Prep, I'm very interested about. I think it's a good matchup against Branchville. Carleton Prep, really impressed with what they've been doing offensively, despite losing a couple of guys on the line. Cole Davis has been a star. And they've been able to have some other guys step up as well. But so far, it's been so good with that line. And Yellow Jackets have, they've been kind of up and down when it comes to defending the run. So I think College Preps will do what they have been able to accomplish. I like their chances offensively. And then it all comes down to stop it. Big Phil Juan Saldano for Branchville, 200-pound running back. So it could be an interesting challenge there. But I'm expecting a competitive game, and Greg Langdale's teams they fight hard on the road. We know that, so they're going to give him a good shot.
I got nothing but respect for Phil Juan. I got no beef with you, Phil Juan. You're good with me. No problems with you. You sound like a tough dude. I don't want to mess with you. What was that name again? Phil Juan what?
Phil Juan Saldano.
Yeah, that sounds like a tough dude. I ain't fooling with him. A little caveat that I'll throw in, a little asterisk to that 49-39 Northwood over Carleton Prep final last week. Cole Davis played, but did not run the ball very much. Didn't have very good stats, nursing a little sore knee. So, that's a factor. And that does definitely take a little bit of the shine off that Northwood win over Carleton Prep in a shootout. So I think Carleton's a good football team. They're not what they were last year by any means, but they've got the same mentality. They're tough-nosed, lunch pail guys who are going to come to work. And Cole Davis, like Tilton, he's like Tilton. When he's not 100%, they are not 100%, and not even close. And so if he's back to normal this week, that's really interesting. I think they might handle Branchville, and that's fun because Branchville's in the same region with Whale Branch, so we get to play a little. That makes the transitive property game even more fun. We can play like 6 degrees of Branchville or something and figure out who's better than who. It'll be good times. But well, guys, I think that's about going to do it. Let's shout out our Lowco Booster Club before we call it a night. Prime IV Hydration and Wellness. Go see my guy over at Belfair Town Village. Ask for Max. Tell him Lowco sent you. He'll take good care of you. Get you your IV drip. You're in your massage chair. It's going to be just lovely. You're gonna thank me later. And if you're still feeling, I need to go see Ambrose at Rooted Living Wellness because my back is all cracked up the wrong way, and I need to get it cracked the right way. He does the ART style of chiropractic. You know about that, Sammy?
I do not.
No, the ART. It's like active release therapy. It's called. And I learned about it from Dr. Patty Zentek when I worked out at USCB. But it's all about like finding those pressure points and working things back and forth and loosening things up so that you can have better range of movement. And a lot of athletes swear by it. So go see Ambrose if you feel like you're just a little tight. You need to get things right. And then Barefoot Floor Care of the Low Country. You got Chris Odom. You got sticky floors, Sam? I know you got sticky floors.
They're not sticky, man, but my dog is scratching my floors up. So.
All right. Yeah, we got you covered. Call on Chris, Barefoot Floor Care. He'll come look at it and see what he can do. He might say like, "Nah, you're gonna have to replace these floors." But if he does that, he'll have a good referral for you. But I guarantee you, he'll get them clean. He'll get them buffed
right.
up.
Yeah.
He'll do whatever he can for you. Get them looking right because his motto is "Floors so clean, your feet will thank you."
I like that.
Great motto. Great dude. So call on Chris from Barefoot Floor Care. And then Eagle Creations, you got any one-stop needs for apparel, promotional items, gift baskets with only Southern fare in there from South Carolina, Georgia, North Carolina, and Florida. They got it all. They're over on Argent Boulevard and right by the Murdoch Heavy Equipment. Right before you get there, turn into Eagle Creations. Check out all the cool stuff they got. They can make your plaques and trophies, all that good stuff. And they're a Lowco sponsor, and they got us in there as a referral partner. So let them know we get a little cut, a little something for the team Lowco. And then we got the Court Lifestyle Pros. You know Daniel Court, Marcus. He's going to be by your side tonight, cracking jokes, reading dirty stuff off the whiteboard. That's Libby, right? Reads the dirty stuff off the whiteboard.
Yes.
But it'll be a good time. You got to listen to the replay just for the commentary.
Before we wrap up today, I just wanted to give a little quick shout out to someone who needs some support. Calvin over from May River is having a brain tumor removed today. What an amazing kid that he is. He has been the biggest fan of May River's baseball team. He was bat boy and always so supportive of that team and those players, and just an amazing boy and just an awesome dude to interact with. I haven't been able to meet him yet, but I hope it'll be soon, and just wishing him all the support as he goes through this today.
Let me tell you, man, that is some heart-wrenching stuff, because I call him Calvin. His name's Calvin. He goes by Cal, but I call him Calvin because I first met him when I was coaching wrestling with the Low Country Wrestling Club, and he couldn't have been but 4 years old. I mean, little bitty dude, just cute as could be. He'd come over, big old smile, give you a big firm handshake and you'd say, "What's your name?" And he'd say, "Calvin." And so I still call him Calvin. But that little dude, I watched him grow up. I saw him fall in love with baseball. I'd be over there with Truman, getting some hacks with Mullis at May River, and I'd see Tommy and Cal over there working, just working. And I saw him catch on with the travel team and start playing more ball and getting better and fall in love with it. And it's just heartbreaking to see news like that. It's really tough. And he's the second one associated with May River baseball in particular, because Nathan Guthrie, a kid that I've coached a couple of times coming up, including on an AU All-Star team. The first year I coached All-Stars, the year I got run from an All-Star game. Nathan Guthrie crying was one of the big reasons that I got run, because he was really upset about a bad call that he didn't understand because he was 7. And I said, "I know, man. I don't understand it either. I'm going to go talk to him about it." And I had to leave after that. But Nate is battling a brain tumor too. His older brothers are in the program. Aaron Guthrie playing with him now. Noah Guthrie on the JV coming up very soon. And Nate, he's on track to be one of those guys too, if all goes well. But he's in chemo and radiation, and so there's a lot of people out there dealing with a lot of stuff that's way heavier than this stuff we talk about, and that's why we try to keep it really light, because this is the fun stuff in life. This is not the important stuff in life. Win or lose on Friday night, there's a couple of kids that we love that are still battling brain cancer, and that's what matters. So great job bringing that up, Wes, and now I'm crying, so we'll probably call it a day, but that's it's a great way to drive it home. That what we do is important, but there's a lot of stuff that's importanter,
Hold up.
So yeah, what you got, Sammy?
I got my Thriller in Manila t-shirt on right now.
Oh yeah.
I just want to go back to my previous prediction. Jackson Baby is gonna shake up the world tonight. Troy Tipco is gonna float like a butterfly and sting like a bee. And Shy is gonna get the offensive line a little rope-a-dope and shake it up. Hilton Head in the upset. Like I said before,
It's going to be a heavyweight fight.
So what you're saying is Buford is obviously smoking Joe Frazier. You can't make Buford beat anybody else, but you're saying Hilton Head got that Foreman punch in him.
They
got
do.
that Foreman punch.
They do. And
that man's still selling grills. That's how hard he can hit you. He's still selling grills, still pumping out Georges every couple of years.
I may eat my words, but
he got a serious punch.
Troy Timko is floating like a butterfly and stinging like a bee tonight.
Yeah.
That is a great way to end it. You are the new sign-off master, Sammy. You brought it all full circle. So let's call it a morning shift at 1:43. Go charge our devices and take a nap because the night shift starts soon enough, boys. That's going to do it for this episode of Lowco Game Day Live. Only 12 minutes over, but chock full of fun. Hope you'll join us next week. But first, join us tonight, 11:30-ish, whenever we get back to the ranches and round everybody up in the newsroom for Lowco Pigskin Live. We'll tell you everything that happens under the Friday night lights. Going to be a good time. Don't miss it. Till next time, go Lowco.